On the Wado Radio Show.
Yes, DJ Wado, the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry, WadoRadio.com, of course. Twitter and Instagram is at Wado Radio. NF is back with us on the line, man. What's up, homie?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing really well, and I'm excited for people to hear Mansion, man.
Me too, man. I'm pumped for it, so.
Yeah, man. You've been working on this for a little bit of time, huh?
Yeah, man. Since we last talked, when the EP came out, we kind of started working on the album just a little bit after that, a couple months after that. So, I don't know, probably about 6 months or something we've been working on it, I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm pumped, man. I think it's something different, something new, and I definitely think it's gonna hit people when it comes out, so.
Yeah, I really, after kind of listening to the album and even seeing that promo video first, I was really personally drawn in by the whole concept of just the whole concept behind the album of Mansion, of this basically being your life, being your mansion, and you inviting everybody in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a cool, different concept.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
How did you, what kind of made you go in that direction, bro?
Like we've talked before, and like anybody who listens to my music, it's always very like life driven, and it's not just like my past. It's like my present, like where I'm at, right? You know. Yeah. So it's like, I write the same way I always do. I start working on instrumentals with producers, and then just let whatever emotion that instrumental brings out of me, you know, that it's just real. Like whatever's happening in me pretty much just comes out. And whenever I write a record or, you know, do anything like this or the EP, I don't ever like go, oh, I'm going to call it like this or whatever, you know. I just write what I feel, and then at the end I know that'll just work itself out. So it ended, Mansion was actually one of the last songs I did. Towards the end, it was one of the last two, I think, and it was just like, I thought Mansion was kind of a cool concept, and that song was such a personal, that song was like really deep, 5.5 minutes long or something, like very like, when I wrote that in my hotel room when I was in Nashville, and I was like, when I wrote it, I just wrote it to a piano melody. And I was like, man, this is like deep, and it's like really long. And then I just started thinking about the concept of, I'm always talking about my mind and like my thoughts and stuff, and I just want to, you know, I thought it'd be a cool concept to be like, you know, our mind really has all these ideas and these thoughts, and so it's kind of like rooms, and so I just kind of came up with the concept to do that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When I look around kind of the landscape of not even just like Christian rap or just even Christian music, but even music in general, there's always like there's a big, huge part of music right now is this party element. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's turn up, and it's even the more chill stuff, the whole EDM scene. And I felt like, man, like you're like what you're about to release to the public is like totally against the grain of that, man. Was that ever even like a concern? Like, I know this is what you do, and this is what you've done even before you were signed and all of that. But did that even enter your mind? Like, man, like, okay, I'm about to put this first album out, and this is totally different than what everybody else is doing right now.
No, not really, because for me, it's just, I have a passion for music like on a crazy level, and if I'm not doing like personal music or something that's really important to me, I don't even want to do it, you know. So for me, it's just like I love all those reasons. Like, I love the fact that it's way different. I love the fact that it's not all happy and like let's just pretend like everything's all good. Because it's not for me, you know. So it's just, I think it's really relatable, and I think most artists are talking about either what they have been through. Not most artists, but a lot of artists, especially in the Christian genre, may talk about what they have been through. in where they're at now, and they may better be in a better place. But for me, I'm talking about like what I have been through, but what I'm currently feeling and like going through. And sometimes people want to relate to you right now, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like they don't want to hear a song where it's like, I used to struggle with this, but now I'm great and I'm this, because they're like they're like, nah, man, like I'm still dealing with that. And so sometimes it's good for people to hear like, oh, Nate still like struggles with anger issues on a major level. Like I still struggle with that. And it's not just something in my past that was taken from me, and now I don't worry about it at all, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You one of the, I guess, kind of themes is, you know, you mentioned the anger and dealing with that, but also you were abused. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, earlier in your life, man, and is that part of what I guess kind of fuels your anger? Is still processing those feelings from, you know, that abuse and, you know, just dealing with that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but that was definitely one thing. And I spent a lot of time in denial about that, almost like growing up, almost like that's not why I'm angry, you know. And I'm not saying that's the only reason, because there was other stuff like growing up, but that was definitely the root of everything. I feel like it made me, it shaped me and made my personality a way that really like affects me today as an adult. Just, you know, just from being a kid. And that's why I think it's so relatable and important for people to hear, because there's so many people that have been through like what I've been through, and like worse, like way worse. You know what I mean? Like there's kids that get slapped around every day, like for their whole, you know, their whole life growing up.
Yeah.
You know, and it just happened to me for a while, and I look at like my anger issues and my problems, and you know, it makes me feel for like kids that go through that stuff every day and still go through it. And so it definitely shaped me, man, in like very negative ways. I don't trust people. I don't I'm quick to like snap. Anger's pretty much become like my a defense mechanism, honestly. And then as you hear in the song Mansion, I'm starting to realize like it doesn't seem like fear on the outside, but in the inside, sometimes fear can be the root of everything. You fear that you'll be weaker if you're not angry, so you don't want to get rid of it, or you fear, you know, it just takes over your mind really without even like realizing it sometimes. So
yeah. Do you like go to counseling and stuff? Now that
no, man, I hate counseling, man. I don't want to go to counseling.
Hey, you keep it real though.
I'm keeping it real, man. Like I'm not saying like I talk to my grandparents or, you know, every once in a while my dad or someone, you know, or a couple close friends, but I'm not the dude. I don't really like. It's crazy, man, because my music is so open.
Yeah.
But I'm not the dude that wants to just sit down and be like, hey, so this is going on in my life. Like, It's weird. It's weird because you hear my music, you're like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you go into detail in your music, right. And it's just like, but that's my venting place. It feels like it's just me in this beat, you know?
Yep.
It's kind of weird, but honestly, I just feel like God gave me that because I hate counseling, man. I don't like people I don't know sitting there asking me questions. Like, I don't know, man.
So how is it when you perform this music though? Because you're in front of people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're in front of people, and just about every single one of your songs is, you know, these types of serious issues, things that you're dealing with, you're going through, and you know the pain, the emotion. You know, how do you deal with when you have to perform it?
Yeah, I know that's weird too because that doesn't bother me at all either.
Wow.
Like, I just did a show in Denver, and it's kind of cool because I'm starting to see, like, people that actually, like, legitimately know my music, you know? Like, I'll rap all I have, and I'm like, dang, I better not miss a word because these fools are, like, singing all these words, you know? So that's kind of a cool experience for me as an artist to start to notice that. But, man, it's kind of cool, actually, because I'm looking out. Sometimes, you know, when you start to know your music so well, you can almost think about whatever while you're on stage, you know, like, and sometimes I'll look out there and I can see people that literally, they know every word, but I can tell they're just like in this headspace, just like I get. Because when I get on stage sometimes, man, I think this last show there was like 500 kids, and they were all like college students, which is kind of my music's a little more serious. And I'm not saying younger kids can't listen to it, but it's a little more like raw, you know? And it was cool, man. It's crazy. It doesn't bother me to do that because you can feel it. It's not just like me sitting in this room with this person talking. It's like the instrumental's going, and I'm in a different headspace at that point.
Yeah, yeah, that's real.
So
that's good, man. Yeah. That's really good, man. The abuse you suffered, man. You know what kind of abuse was it? Verbal, physical?
It was like verbal and physical. Yeah. It was a weird situation. Like, I kind of talk about it in the song, but it was just like this person just liked to scare you, and then he would hit you. You know what I mean? Like, he'd like to know that you were scared first. It wasn't like you just get hit. And I'm not saying like just getting hit's not bad or like can't mess with you, but there was something about like the fear of me having to sit, and I'm not even going into crazy detail, but me having to like sit in a chair 15 minutes every time before like he'd take me downstairs and actually like hit me, you know? And it's not like he was beating me to death or anything like that, obviously, but it was like, sit there and you know like what's coming in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? It was just weird, man. Like, it was a weird thing, and like it definitely messed with me for sure. Yeah, man. So, yeah,
that's tough, man. That and those types of experiences, obviously, they stick with you for life, man.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. So, would you say Mansion the song Mansion is probably your favorite record on the album?
I think it just depends what mood I'm in, but I'd say, yeah, I mean, it's pretty close just because it's so personal and so deep, and that's just my vibe. And plus my friend, Lauren, who goes by Flurry, her voice, I feel like just added this.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah, her voice is
like she was married to the beat, bro. Well, yeah, man, if you listen to her stuff, like, that's her vibe. And like, when we got together and wrote the chorus, it was like, I knew it was going to be nuts right away, man, just because she's got that. It fits perfect, man. So it's one of my favorite records. I think it just depends where I'm at, because sometimes I'm like, sometimes intro's my favorite, you know? It's like, that song is so, like, no chorus, none of that crap. It's just, like, here's me just rapping. And sometimes I'm in that mood where I don't want to hear anything but me just, you know, a song that's just rapping or whatever. It just depends. I could tell you really like those kind of records.
Yeah, man.
There's a certain energy that you give off on those songs that it's just like, man, I can just spit. I don't got to worry about a hook. I can just do what I do.
No, and this is my first album, so I was definitely trying to figure some things out too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it's very diverse, but who know? You know, I'm trying to figure some things out. But at the same time, like I say in the intro, I do know, like, I know where my lane is. My music will go different places sometimes, but I definitely know like what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yep. So speaking of intro, man. How did that feel to have that record on Empire, man? Biggest show out right now, bro.
It was really cool, man. I actually didn't even know until like the day of.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes those things happen like so quick.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're in the works and you just don't find out till like the day of. But I thought it was awesome, man, because they actually used a lot of my words,
right?
And I didn't think they would use like barely any. Because me and Tommy made the track, and we kind of call it the Godzilla track because it sounds like Godzilla's walking in when you play that track, especially by itself.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I thought the song would maybe get a sync on television somewhere. but I didn't think they'd use any vocals. And they ended up, the way they used it, man, was just perfect. Like, I thought it was really cool as an artist, definitely, to see that. So
yeah, I mean, that exposure, you know, and it's Empire's like, this is what everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, man. No, the Capitol team in LA is killing it, man. They're loving the record, and they're also like pushing it to a lot of places, and people are really liking it and picking it up. So it helps me, and it just, you know, I really appreciate everybody involved in doing all that stuff. So
yeah, it's a win, man. It's definitely a win, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I want to know what inspired All I Have, man. I don't think we got a chance to talk about that the last time you were on, but even seeing, you know, because you released the video since the last time we spoke, and to me that added like a whole new layer to the song. Just seeing a lot of what you were saying in the song now in a visual format, man. And I was just curious, like, you know, what is that like a story for like people that you know, you grew up around, things you observed? Was that your family in a sense, and you in the third person? I was just curious where that, you know, what sparked that, man.
Are you talking about All I Have?
Yeah.
All I Have was just me, like, I wrote that song just from a place of, like, being frustrated. And I can't remember if it was our interview or what it was, but being frustrated with, like, trying to... I'm a man, so, like, obviously I think about things like I'm going to have to provide for a family someday. And I didn't really speak on that as much. I mean, I'll have some songs come out talking about that, but it was just me coming from a place as an artist, like, where I'm trying to make something happen because I feel like this is all I have, and like this is my opportunity, and like I just don't want to let it pass. And I'm trying to work a job, and I'm trying to do music on the side, and I came from a place where I was trying to do music and work on the side, and I just felt like I was going backwards. So it was very just me thinking about, like, this literally is all I have, and I want to put, you know, as much time as possible into this because it's so important to me. You know what I mean? So when I'm talking about working a job and doing this at the same time, like, it's just rough, dude, and I think it's very relatable to artists. And I think it was what was cool about the song, and why I love that it's on the album too, is that it not only do like fans listen to it and go, whoa, like, first of all, it's real, but it's also like, I didn't realize that artists had to do this. You know what I mean? I didn't realize artists had to, some artists that I think are big and on main stages at festivals are working at Starbucks when they go home.
Right,
like,
right.
Fans don't know that, but sometimes they like to find those things out because it's like a realization to them of what's really happening. And then I think artists, it was a cool song for artists because they're like, dude, that's my life, you know? Like, a lot of artists, man, they're not what people think. They're not big. They don't make tons of money. They look cool at festivals, and then they got to go home and they got to work a side job to help really provide for their family because they got 5 members in their band, or they got whatever, a DJ, and they got to pay everyone and fly to these events. It's like, it's not all what it's cut out to be. But honestly, man, this song was personal for me, you know?
You know what, though? I had All I Have in front of me, but I was thinking of Wake Up in my mind.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
But I didn't want to cut you off because I was just like, man, like, this is good.
Nah,
He's explaining this again.
Yeah, that's why I was asking All I Have.
Because we talked about we talked about All I Have at length the last time, but then when you started, I said, oh man, I meant to say Wake Up. That's what I had.
Yeah, no, I thought we did, but my bad.
No, we definitely did, man. But okay. Wake Up, because Wake Up, you put the video out since the last time we talked.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. my timeline, I was like, is my timeline off?
No, man, it was me, bro. It was me.
I got you. No, Wake Up, man, was Wake Up was very personal, but the verses were just kind of a story.
Yeah.
You know, to show people and say, like, hey, you can have. I really like what the video showed, because it was kind of like things were just different in the video. Like, it wasn't a man who was like all successful. It was a woman who had a mansion. She got this beautiful house, and it's just showing her, you know, this is what she could have had or did have or whatever, however you prefer to look at it. But, you know, she had a husband and a son, and she's just letting all this stuff go for what people would define as success. But as you see, like, she's not happy, and she's not happy. And then the second verse is the complete opposite, a person who has nothing and feels the same, which I think is unique, because a lot of people would be like, oh, he's going to have nothing, but he has Jesus, so he's like, everything's fine. And it's like, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show people, like, you can have everything that people would describe as success, and you could have nothing that people describe as success, and you can feel the exact same way. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to leave people with that. And Wake Up was really, man, it's written for me, and I'm, like, still in this weird place right now where I feel like I could live better, and I need to wake up from some things and realize some things. So every song is so personal to me, but that song, the verses, obviously, I don't live in a mansion or none of that crap. But that was just more of like a metaphor for people to be like, you know, you can live in a mansion and you can have all this stuff that people think makes you successful, but, you know, there's celebrities and successful people all the time that kill themselves and all this stuff, and you're like, why? You know, I remember being younger, it's like, why would that guy do that? He's a millionaire, he can have any girl he wants, like, why would he do that? And it's just because, man, we're designed with this hole in our lives, and we're constantly trying to fill our lives with what people define as, you know, success and happiness. And people they go down the road and they find out, like, I'm just not happy. You know, like, I can say right now, I'm never going to be satisfied with selling, you know, let's say I ever do make it big and I sell tons of records and I do all this stuff. I'll feel it'll be cool and it'll be a dream being fulfilled. But I know in the end, if I was a millionaire this time next year, that money's not going to make me happy. You know, I need family, and I need, like, you know, I need God. I need that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're thinking about marriage too, man.
No, I ain't getting married.
No. I'm not saying like you're about to get married, but I heard you say earlier you think about long term, man. I got to provide for a family. I got to.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. I put so much pressure on myself. Sometimes too much pressure, man. I'm just like, you know, I'm 23.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 24 soon. It's just like, I'm not saying I'm like old or nothing, because I'm not. And I feel like I'm really heading down a good direction, a good road here. But it's like, I think about that stuff, man. I think about, that's just stressful stuff. I think sometimes people don't think about it, you know, like fans or people, they don't think about as artists. And it's not their job to. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, you know, vent to them and be like, you need to think about all my personal life. But it's just me venting for myself almost, to be like, man, like, where am I going to be at in a couple of years, you know? Like, am I going to be able to provide still then, even, you know? If people will be like, oh, you're in such a good spot right now, you're in all this. It's like, yeah, I'm really pumped, and I'm humbled to, like, be here, but I still, like, stress about money. I stress about that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, you're not still working your day job, right?
No, yeah, I haven't been working that for a while. After my EP came out, I think, I don't know if it was a couple months after that, I stopped working completely. I was working here and there. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm not a millionaire or nothing, man, but I'm trying to make some moves, and I'm getting more shows and stuff for sure. So
that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay in Michigan? Because I know for a lot of artists, they get to a certain point, and it's like, particularly in the Christian space, it's like either you feel like you got to go to Nashville or Atlanta, or, you know. So do you see yourself staying?
I just moved. Yeah, I just moved yesterday, actually.
Wow. So you in Nashville?
Yeah, I just my uncle lives down here, and I'm just renting from him. He lives by himself. He's got a nice house, so I'm renting from him, man, and it was time. I couldn't do nothing when I was home, and I was kind of staying there for family and some other things, and I had to do it, man. So yeah, moved down here so I can actually. I mean, there's just so many things. The flights are cheaper. The labels here. Yep. I can. It was a personal thing for sure. I wasn't really moving for anybody else. I just needed to move for myself, and so yeah, man.
Hey Nate, sometimes you got to do things for yourself, man. It's all right.
Yeah, for sure, man. So
it's cool.
That's what it was.
It's good, man. Man, do you see yourself? Well, okay. Before I get to that, one of the other things that really surprised me about the album, and I'm actually glad you did it. You didn't litter this album with features.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, the only other people on the album are people that are singing.
Yeah.
You didn't really have, and you got some connections, man. You know people. There's people that are rocking with you that I'm sure if you'd have called them, they'd have hopped on the record, man. But clearly this was a conscious thing because this is your solo, your debut album. You know, so just talk about the thought process behind that, man.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about some features, like for example, the Brit Thing that came up, like me and Britt Nicole and then Tommy. We were all in Nashville, and we just met up and wrote one day, and we got the rough for that song, and it was like, man, if we could make this happen, you know. Britt's crazy talented, and I thought it was a really unique song because, you know, I rap a lot. When you listen to intro and then you listen to Can You Hold Me, you're like, what? Yeah. You know what I mean?
It almost sound like two different artists, even though it's the same guy.
Totally, but when you listen to the record, you're almost like, oh, that's just NF. That's what he does. You know what I mean? So, and then I don't know, man. All the features came about like randomly. Like my A&R was like, hey, check out this artist, and which was Flurry, and I'm like, she's amazing. Like, her vocal is totally down my lane. A lot of her music is very like moody, like mine. I'm like, he's like, all right, I'll set you guys up to write. And literally, I met her. We wrote the chorus, and I wrote the song in my hotel room to like a piano melody that we came up with. Yeah. And then we met in the studio Monday and recorded the song.
Yeah, that was Mansion. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Mansion. So a lot of the stuff, man. Jeremiah, he's just a friend of mine. He's with the Never Claim. And I've always thought he had a cool voice, and I wanted to do something acoustically, and he kind of wrote this cool chorus, and I'm like, dude, let's try to do something with it. He was in Michigan after a festival, and so we met up, we did it, and it just happened. So, yeah, man, I thought about doing some hip-hop features, and, like, obviously there's some business stuff where it's like, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that. But then as I was looking at some of the songs on the record, too, it was just like, I think we were looking for a feature for Face It. You know, just because, but I think the other problem we run into is, it's not a problem, but with my music, it is so personal, so sometimes it's like, unless they got something personal to say, it ain't going to make sense, you know, about that.
Or, I was going to say, or unless they're actually a part of the story, you know what I'm saying? Like the actual set of circumstances. Yeah.
Totally. So, no, man, I'm totally cool with not having them. Obviously, it's a good business look, and people like to have, you know, other people on there because, you know, a lot of people have a bigger name. I mean, we have a lot of buzz going right now, but there's a lot of artists with like bigger names, and you know, good friends with Truth and Flame and those guys, and they probably we got to do something eventually. I really want to get a track with those dudes, but I think, like I said, the album, sometimes timing just doesn't work out, and that's just how it went down, man. So I'm totally good with it. This album is very personal and very dark, and sometimes that's just not for people anyway, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, all right, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it, man. I'm gonna just say it. But because I don't want to put like a unfair level of pressure. So I'm coupling this statement I'm about to say because Nas Illmatic is one of the greatest albums ever. It's a debut album, and it had no features. Well, it had one. It had AZ. It had one feature.
Okay.
But for the most part, it was him, his debut album. Now, I'm not saying this is Illmatic. I want to be. It's a good album, but I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. But I'm just saying there's a precedent for it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm good with it. I think some fans just expect, like, they're like, oh man, I wanted to see this person or that person on the record. It's like, man, I don't. If it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, it's like, normally I don't go into a song like, oh, I got to get this person on it, you know? Yep. And it's got to work out for everybody too, you know? So. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Sometimes you might send a song and it's like, this fits your lane, mate, but like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say on this track. You know what I mean? It's like, I totally get that, man. So, no, it's good. I'm good. Every feature on the album I think is dope. It's unique, and I don't feel like it's forced. And I think sometimes features are forced sometimes, and it's like, hey, we're rappers in the same genre. Let's do a song together. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, the Brit Nicole song to me doesn't sound forced at all. The Mansion song is definitely not forced. The Me and Jeremiah song is not forced. Yeah, like, it's just cool features. So,
hey man, even Eminem first album, I don't think he had features. I'm trying to think. Slim Shady LP?
Yeah.
I don't think he had no features on there.
He had I think did he have D12 on that?
I don't think so, man.
I thought there was that one song, Drips or something. Or maybe it might have been a different song. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I remember being shocked when he came out with the song with Wayne and Drake and Kanye. I remember I didn't think that was a real song. Because, like, he slaughtered this song. Yeah. I couldn't believe it was him because he never featured with anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The only people he featured with was, like, you know, it'd be like Dre or Snoop or D12, like, or 50, like.
Yep.
That's so funny.
But you know what, though? I think, not to totally digress, but I think he did that record to show people, yo, I can get down with these dudes.
Yeah.
Lyrically.
Yo, he slaughtered that.
Yeah.
When he came out,
he was on a mission.
Oh my gosh, dude. He killed that song, bro. No, when I still remember, I don't remember how old I was. I mean, I was in high school. And when I saw that on YouTube or something, I was like, this ain't real. Someone made this. You know, this Forever song. I don't think this is real because he don't feature with no one.
Yep.
And then when I found out it was real, and then you heard the verse, it was like, dang.
Well, and you see, you put it on. It was like on some random soundtrack or something, right?
Yeah, it was very it came out of nowhere, and he'd been gone for a while. I think when that came out, or maybe not. Yeah, he had been. So it was like, he slaughtered that song, man.
Yeah. That's good though, man. It's so funny though.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. So you headed to South by Southwest this week?
Yeah, I'm flying out tomorrow. We got rehearsal today and flying out tomorrow. So
what showcases? Well, I guess probably by the time they hear this, you will either be in the middle of performing on the showcases or but what all you got going, man?
I'm doing it's something for Universal. I honestly don't know that much, but it's like a really big thing they do every year. Okay. I don't know too much about it, but it's something for Universal. I don't think it's not on the Christian side. I think I don't know too much about the South by Southwest deal, but I know like there's a Christian side. I think Truth and all them are going out there, but I'm not.
There's a big Christian thing called the Kingdom Experience. That's like 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over like 3 days. But I mean, to be honest, like South by Southwest is like 99% of it is mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
And so they kind of have this, this little Christian space, but.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we're doing the Universal stage, and I think there's like a stage sponsored by McDonald's or something. So I'll play twice in the same day. But there's tons of people that can walk around and watch. It's more of like just a cool business like move opportunity. You never know.
Heck yeah, bro. So, yeah, I went down there like 4 years in a row, man. Was blown away by it, bro. Like it's like it'll blow your mind, man. So you doing South by Southwest, and then what you got coming up? Obviously the record comes out on the 31st.
Yeah, the second single drops the 24th, I think, and then the album comes out the 31st, man. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm pumped about it. Hopefully, I think it's a deep record, and I think hopefully it, helps some people out, man. Yeah.
So, last question on the production, and I know when we kind of first were talking through what your album was going to look like when we did the first interview, you were like, man, I'm sticking with what got me here. I want to work with the same guy. Did you pretty much hold true to that?
Yeah. Tommy did most of the album, and then David Garcia did Mansion and Wait and Face It.
Nice.
So yeah, just David and Tommy, and they both killed it, man. I think they both bring a different sound. David he's a crazy hip hop dude. He's really, really talented. And what me and Tommy do is like intro, man. Like we just do off the wall, like a rapper shouldn't be rapping on this, but we make it happen, and it turns out good, man. So yeah, me and Tommy did most of the record, and then David did 3 tracks on the record, and it's great, man. I mean, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the work they did on the record. So
it's good, man. Yo, NF, man, I'm happy for you, brother. Like,
I appreciate that.
Man, just when you kind of see someone able to kind of come up the way you coming up, man, and I think being able to just kind of stick to your convictions and not necessarily feel like you have to fit the industry mold or formula or any of that, man. It's like it's encouraging, man. You know what I mean? It's encouraging.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
So that's what's up, bro. Well, man, hopefully we'll get to meet one of these days soon, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Let me know when you hit New York next, man.
Okay, I will, man, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Was DJ Wado? It's the Wado Radio Show. NF, man. Mansion is in stores March 31st. Support the homie.
Sweet. Thanks a lot for having me, man.
Always, dude.
Shit.
On the Wado Radio Show. On the Wado Radio. On the Wado Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.